Dear chosen ones, today I encourage you to pause, open your hearts and embrace a truth woven through God's design. You are not here by coincidence, but by divine intention, crafted by a loving Creator who has purposed every step of your journey. As believers, we know that our path is often marked by trials, moments that test our faith, and forces that challenge our purpose. Yet within each challenge lies a profound invitation to wait on God, to trust in His timing, and to believe that His plan surpasses all understanding. In the words of C.S. Lewis, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. These struggles are not obstacles but stepping stones, refining our spirits and drawing us closer to the heart of God. Like Joseph, who waited years before stepping into the fullness of his calling, we too are called to trust in God's timing. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." This promise assures us that even the trials we face today are part of a grander story, one that leads us to the destiny God has prepared. Beloved, this moment is not simply about overcoming obstacles, but about deepening your reliance on God, allowing Him to transform your heart and equipping you for a purpose beyond what you can imagine. Let go of striving in your own strength, and instead lean into the transformative power of His grace. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Psalm 27 verse 14. As you journey forward, may your heart be anchored in this truth: God's timing is perfect, and His plan for you is filled with hope and a future. As chosen ones, your journey has not been one of mere coincidence or random trials. Everything you have faced, every setback, and every moment of resistance has been shaping you for a higher purpose. This is the final act of faith, where you leave your enemies to God and focus on the growth that lies ahead. The power you hold as a chosen one is not in your hands but in your heart, in your ability to trust, to let go, and to rise above with grace. This is where your true growth begins, as you understand that your battles are not fought with flesh and blood, but with faith and patience, trusting that God sees all and knows all. The ultimate challenge here is not defeating your enemies in the physical sense, but transcending them spiritually, trusting that God's justice prevails beyond your control. This journey calls you to transform your pain into purpose. It's about understanding that your enemies were never meant to defeat you. They were sent to refine you, to sharpen your faith, to test your resilience, and to help you grow into the person God has destined you to be. When you focus on their actions, you give them power over your growth. But when you focus on your spiritual evolution, their negativity loses its hold on you. In this sacred journey as a chosen one, there comes a moment that defines everything. It's not a battle fought with mere actions, but a spiritual reckoning where your enemy's fate is no longer in your hands, but in God's. This is the final act that seals their destiny and calls you to step into your divine purpose. The act of letting go is a declaration that you are no longer bound by the limitations others try to place on you. It's a powerful statement to the universe that you believe in something greater, that your faith is stronger than your fear, and that your destiny is guided by divine hands. This spiritual act requires surrendering your need to seek revenge, your urge to react, and your desire to prove yourself. It's about handing over your struggles, your doubts, and your fears to God, knowing that His timing and His plan are perfect. The emotional challenge here is real. It's hard to trust when the pain runs deep, when betrayal feels like an open wound that refuses to heal. But this is where your spirit must shine the brightest. It's not easy to sit still when every fiber of your being screams to take charge, to confront those who wronged you. Yet, this act of restraint is what truly defines you as a chosen one. As you embrace this path, the emotional challenges may feel overwhelming. There's a deep-rooted fear that if you don't act, your enemies might get away with their deeds, leaving you vulnerable. But the truth is, the universe has already aligned itself to bring justice, and it's your job to remain steadfast in your purpose. The fate of your enemies is not your concern, it's a distraction from the bigger picture. The true act of courage lies in staying faithful to your purpose, in believing that God's justice will prevail in His perfect timing. The essence of this act is not passive resignation but active faith. It's choosing to believe that even when you can't see the outcome, God is already working on your behalf. This is the spiritual dimension where you must let go of the illusion that you control the fate of those who oppose you. It's in this release that true power is found. When you let God handle your enemies, you're not letting them get away, you're letting go of the weight they hold over your soul. This is what it means to truly rise, to step into your divine path and transform their attacks into stepping stones toward the purpose God has set for you. Perhaps you've been noticing signs in your life that feel beyond coincidence, sudden shifts in relationships, unexpected obstacles, hints that something deeper is at play. Sometimes it feels as though the universe is speaking directly to you, offering glimpses of what's coming, yet these glimpses are often elusive. These signs may come subtly, like whispers on the wind, or boldly, like doors slamming shut. The challenge is understanding how these relate to your enemy's fate and your own divine path. You might wonder if you've done enough, or if there's more to prepare for this final act that seals the fate of those who've opposed you. These questions aren't signs of weakness, they reveal a genuine desire to fulfill your purpose with integrity. In this uncertainty, profound spiritual growth emerges, guiding you toward a truth that promises to illuminate both your path and the deeper meaning behind every struggle. When we consider the title, Chosen Ones, your enemy's fate is sealed with this final act. Don't wait, it's not merely a call to action, it's a spiritual invitation to view your journey from a higher perspective. This is the moment when your enemy's hold on your life begins to dissolve, not by force, but through your own growth. It's tempting to see enemies as obstacles, yet they often reflect our unhealed wounds, insecurities, and fears. Their presence doesn't signify failure but highlights areas where your spirit is called to expand. God places these challenges not to break you, but to mold and refine the divine gifts within you that are waiting to unfold. Surrendering your enemies to God becomes a pivotal moment, allowing you to reclaim the energy previously given to fear and doubt. Your enemies unknowingly play a role in your spiritual awakening. Through their actions, they push you to confront limitations, rise above doubts, and tap into your faith. They draw you closer to God, prompting you to seek His guidance in ways you might not have considered otherwise. Their fate isn't only about them, it's about your freedom from resentment, bitterness, and revenge. You're being prepared to transcend the limits they represent, stepping fully into the purpose for which you were chosen. Reflecting on your journey reveals how each struggle has deepened your connection to faith, transforming painful lessons into the foundation of your spiritual growth. When you see enemies as catalysts for transformation, their power fades, and your strength becomes undeniable. This inner transformation is the true final act, sealing both their fate and yours in alignment with God's divine will. Embrace patience and humility, recognizing that the journey of a chosen one is not straightforward. It's a winding path through valleys of doubt and peaks of revelation. As you reflect on past trials, you'll realize each challenge was a stepping stone placed by God. The pain caused by enemies can be viewed as sparks that ignited your growth. Now, energy once spent on defense can be redirected to building purpose, nurturing vision, and reinforcing faith in God's timing. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be, shaped not in spite of your enemies, but because of them. The final act isn't about vengeance, it's a moment of spiritual ascension, choosing to rise above their influence and trust in God's unfolding justice. As you prepare for what lies ahead, focus not on your enemy's actions but on what God is doing within you. This is the essence of your journey, a path guided by faith, driven by purpose, and illuminated by the divine light within. Standing at the edge of revelation, you may feel the pull of unanswered questions, a need to understand why events have unfolded as they have. The title, Chosen Ones, your enemy's fate is sealed with this final act. Don't wait suggests a resolution where the spiritual and tangible meet. But before clarity arrives, lean into the divine tension, a holy unrest, urging you to dig deeper. As chosen ones, your journey is sacred. The adversaries in your life were never meant to destroy you. They were there to prepare you for the greatness that God has in store. It's not about the battles you fought against them. It's about the battles you won within yourself, the battles against self-doubt, insecurity, and the fear of not being enough. Their fate is sealed not because of what they did, but because you have decided that your life will no longer be defined by their actions. You have chosen to rise above the chaos and to let God's wisdom guide you into the next chapter of your journey. This revelation is not about letting your enemies off the hook. It's about setting yourself free from the need for validation, free from the desire for revenge, free from the chains of bitterness that keep you bound to the past. It is about trusting that God's justice is far greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. What you're about to discover will not just seal the fate of your enemies, but also illuminate your own path as a chosen one, revealing how everything you've experienced has led you to this very moment. You've journeyed through the depths of your struggles, grappling with the doubts, the setbacks, and the relentless presence of those who seem to stand in your way. We spoke of how your enemies serve as mirrors to your inner challenges, how their presence in your life is a call to face your deepest fears. We reflected on how God has used these adversaries not to break you, but to refine you, to illuminate the shadows where you still need to grow. And then we touched on the physical signs in your world, the shifts and the changes that hinted at something greater, something about to be revealed. Now, as you stand on the brink of that revelation, the truth becomes clearer. The true power of a chosen one lies not in confronting their enemies, but in transcending them. This is the moment when you realize that your enemy's fate was never truly in their own hands, it was always in God's hands, and through His divine timing, it is now in yours. The final act that seals their fate is not a moment of retaliation or vengeance, but a moment of profound surrender, where you let go of the hold they once had on your heart and mind. The revelation here is simple yet profound. The ultimate victory is not in seeing your enemies fall, but in witnessing your own rise. The act that seals their fate is not what happens to them externally, but what happens within you when you choose to forgive, to release, and to rise above. This choice is not an act of weakness, but of immense spiritual strength, a declaration that your life is guided by divine purpose rather than earthly battles. When you step back and allow His will to unfold, you open yourself to a life that is filled with peace, joy, and a deeper sense of purpose. The real power you possess as a chosen one is your ability to transform pain into growth, betrayal into wisdom, and adversity into strength. You are not defined by what has happened to you, you are defined by how you choose to rise from it. This journey has always been about your evolution, about becoming the person God created you to be. Your enemy's fate was never the focus was always on your spiritual awakening, your recognition of the divine light that guides you no matter the darkness you face. And as you move forward, there is something else you must hold close to your heart, the knowledge that your journey does not end here. Every experience, every wound, every tear shed has brought you closer to the truth of who you are, a soul chosen for a purpose that goes beyond human comprehension. Yet, even as you reflect on your journey, you sense that there is still a greater message waiting for you, a divine revelation that has yet to be fully revealed. The feeling that something significant is just beyond your reach creates an almost electric anticipation. It's as if the pieces are all there, scattered around you, but you're waiting for that final insight to snap them into place. The urgency grows, urging you not to delay any longer, to be ready for what's about to come. This is the moment where you stand on the precipice, knowing that the answers lie just beyond your current understanding. You may feel the weight of every lesson you've learned pressing down on you, the need for clarity and resolution pulsing within. As you prepare for the main spiritual message, recognize that every doubt, every sign, every unanswered question is guiding you to this critical turning point. Forgiveness does not mean you accept what they did, it means you no longer allow their actions to dictate your path. It means you are stepping into the fullness of your power as a chosen one, aligned with God's plan for your life. When you release the burden of resentment, you are creating space for God's grace to flow into your life. This is the true act that changes everything. It is the moment when you turn your focus away from what was done to you and toward what God is doing through you. The spiritual lesson is not to wait for your enemies to acknowledge their wrongs or to make amends, but to understand that their role in your journey is over. Their purpose was to push you, to challenge you, to awaken the fire within you that burns even brighter when you choose love over fear, compassion over anger, faith over doubt. As you stand here now, on the threshold of this revelation, you feel the shift in your soul. You feel the truth of your journey as a chosen one taking root within you, stronger and more resilient than ever. You are ready for what comes next, not because your enemies have been defeated, but because you have transcended the need to see them fall. Your focus is now on the rise, the ascension, the calling that has been leading you all along toward a destiny that only you can fulfill. You are no longer bound by the shadows of your past. You are stepping into the light of your future, guided by a purpose that is greater than any obstacle you faced. This is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where you walk with God by your side, unburdened by the actions of those who sought to dim your light. Moving forward, consider this: every step you take from this moment on should be grounded in the wisdom you've gained through these experiences. Let your past battles serve as a reminder that you are equipped with the resilience and grace to handle whatever comes your way. The sealing of your enemy's fate is a sign that you have reached a new level of spiritual authority, one where your energy is no longer entangled with the struggles of the past, but is instead channeled into creating a future that aligns with your highest self. God has a unique way of using our trials to prepare us for our breakthroughs. The very things that once felt like they were breaking you were in fact building you. Now that this chapter with your enemies has closed, the question to ask yourself is not why did this happen, but rather what am I being called to do next? The energy that was once tied up in conflict is now available to be redirected toward your purpose. You are not here to fight battles that drain your spirit. You are here to fulfill a divine mission that empowers your soul. The final act is not one of retaliation but of transformation, a transformation that begins with your decision to trust in God's timing, to trust that the fate of your enemies was always under His control, and that their role in your life was simply a stepping stone to your greatness. In this moment of breakthrough, feel the weight lift from your shoulders as you place your burdens at the feet of God. Understand that the true test of a chosen one is not in how they deal with their enemies, but in how they deal with themselves when faced with the trials of life. It's about finding the strength to forgive when it seems impossible, to love when it feels undeserved, and to trust when all you see is uncertainty. This is your divine calling, your path to spiritual mastery, where every challenge becomes a lesson and every adversary becomes a part of your story of triumph. Consider how much lighter your soul feels when you release the need to worry about those who try to bring you down. The final act isn't about your enemy's downfall, it's about your rise. It's about reclaiming the energy you once wasted on bitterness and using it to fuel your growth, your purpose, and your divine mission. This is the true essence of spiritual maturity, not allowing the darkness of others to dictate your light, but instead allowing that light to shine even brighter in the face of adversity. You might be wondering how to take these revelations and turn them into actions that propel you forward on your spiritual journey. The answer lies in embracing a perspective shift. Instead of seeing your enemies as obstacles that need to be overcome, start seeing them as the lessons that have already been learned. Their role in your life was to sharpen your discernment, to deepen your faith, and to guide you closer to God's voice. With their fate sealed, you no longer need to question your worth or your path. You only need to focus on what God is calling you to do next. As you reflect on your journey as a chosen one, it's important to recognize that the message within this experience isn't just about marking the end of one chapter, it's about laying the foundation for the next. The idea that your enemy's fate is sealed with this final act isn't just a resolution, it's an invitation to step into a new level of spiritual growth and consciousness. It's not just about understanding that your adversaries no longer hold power over you, It's about recognizing how this realization can become a catalyst for the transformation that lies ahead. In this moment, you are called to see that the challenges, the betrayals, and the pain inflicted by your enemies were never random occurrences. They were divinely orchestrated events meant to shape you, to strengthen your spirit, and to teach you how to rise above the pettiness of earthly struggles. Now that their fate is sealed, you're being given the opportunity to shift your focus entirely. You're no longer looking back at what was done to you, you're now looking forward to what God is doing within you and where He's leading you next. This is where your true power lies, in recognizing that every experience, whether it felt like a loss or a gain, was leading you to this moment of clarity and direction. The insights from this journey should shape your path forward with a deeper sense of trust in God's plan for your life. Understand that you are not walking this path alone. Divine guidance surrounds you, leading you to places you might never have imagined possible. The act of releasing your enemies from your thoughts and emotions is not a weakness, it is a declaration of your faith that God's justice will prevail in ways that you cannot yet see. Every challenge has prepared you for this elevation. Every time you were hurt or betrayed, a piece of your old self fell away, revealing the diamond that God has been shaping all along. As you embark on this new chapter, remember that your role as a chosen one is not merely about overcoming battles, but about embodying the virtues that set you apart: love, compassion, patience, and an unwavering faith in God's plan. These qualities are the true markers of your spiritual identity, qualities that God has been cultivating in you through every challenge you have faced. Now is the time to redirect your focus and energy, not on past struggles, but on the divine calling that has whispered to your soul all along. The sealing of your enemy's fate is not a culmination but a beginning, a signal that you are ready to evolve beyond the burdens of resentment, fear, and doubt, and to step boldly into a higher consciousness where your life is aligned with God's will and purpose for you. In this phase of transformation, choose to let faith, rather than fear, be your guide. Let purpose, not pain, direct your path, and let love replace any longing for retribution. Remember that your journey as a chosen one is not about reaching a particular destination. It is a continuous process of growing closer to God and becoming a vessel through which His love and wisdom flow. With each step you take, you align more deeply with His presence within you, enabling you to serve, to love, and to uplift not only your spirit but also those around you. As you move forward with this newfound clarity, bear in mind that your enemies were never powerful enough to alter the destiny God has set for you. They were merely catalysts, awakening the strength and resilience that define you today. Now, as you stand in this pivotal moment, recommit to your purpose. Trust in God's timing, for He is leading you exactly where you are meant to be. Your journey as a chosen one is far from over in reality. It is only beginning. The path ahead is rich with opportunities for growth, transformation, and a deeper connection with God. As we reflect on the powerful message, Chosen One, your enemy's fate is sealed with this final act. It becomes clear that this isn't just about their downfall, it's a profound reminder that this moment is a turning point in your spiritual journey. With their fate sealed, you can now channel your energy fully into your own growth, purpose, and relationship with God. Rather than an end, this final act marks the beginning of your true elevation, a step into a life where you are no longer defined by battles, but by the divine mission that has always been yours. C.S. Lewis once said, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Each trial, each betrayal, each moment of pain has been a stepping stone, shaping your spirit and fortifying your faith." You can now move forward with renewed strength, knowing that God's hand has guided you through every twist and turn. As a chosen one, your journey is unique, and the lessons you've learned have the power to uplift not only you, but also others who walk a similar path. Let the resilience you've developed inspire those around you and create a ripple effect of faith and hope. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to become an active part of our community. By sharing your experiences and supporting one another, we create a family of chosen ones united in purpose and faith. Let us walk together on this sacred journey, where each chosen one's light shines even brighter in unity. Don't forget to subscribe for more messages that empower and guide you on your spiritual path, and share this message with others who need it. Together, we are stronger, more resilient, and destined for greatness. And if you feel called to support this journey, consider contributing to our community on Patreon. Your support allows us to create more spiritually enriching content, reaching and uplifting more lives along the way. Your contribution is not just a donation, it is an investment in the growth of this chosen family. Thank you for being an essential part of this journey. Together we rise higher, we move forward in faith, and we never walk this path alone. As we continue, remember that God's presence is always with us, leading and shaping us for His purpose.